What is happening, people? We are back. I say we are back. I am back, but we are back as a community, of course. Great to see so many of you here nice and early. Great to see so many of you in the chat. Make sure you put any questions in that you've got for me. More than happy to take any questions tonight. It was a strange day of football. The reason it was strange because I was actually watching the Formula One because it was on a Saturday for the first time ever. And I watched the racing, which was a really boring race, by the way. Max Verstappen is going to dominate again for the rest of this season, people. I looked at it and I thought, right, okay, these results are all right. Tottenham are losing. That's always funny. West Ham are losing. That's really funny. Liverpool ain't winning. That's really funny. And the minute the Grand Prix stopped and I flicked over to the results, everything went wrong. I should have just continued to watch the podium because that would have been more fun. Everything went wrong from that point. Not in terms of what Arsenal, because really, let's be honest, most of the results today don't have anything to do with Arsenal other than one, which we looked out for. We still got to do our job. Nothing changes for us on Monday night against Sheffield United away, which we're going to touch on very, very soon. But I was frustrated. And I was frustrated, of course, because Liverpool scored in the 99th minute of 98 minutes of play. Now, from what I hear, I haven't seen the goal. I haven't heard anything about it. All I've been told is that Nottingham Forest, one, should have cleared their lines, and two, were trying to waste time and got yellow cards, and that's why at least another minute was put on. So a lot of people I'm hearing are actually giving Liverpool a lot of stick. Oh, it's a fix. Everybody wants Klopp to win in his last year. Everyone's talking about Liverpool making everyone's making it so that Liverpool are going to win this league. I actually disagree with that, man. At the end of the day, if Nottingham Forest are wasting time, they're going to have to hold that because you play to the whistle, man. You play to the whistle. And Nottingham Forest have got to make sure that they're concentrating. Now, I saw all the absolute fracas at the end with the chairman coming out in Forest. What an embarrassment, by the way. I understand that there was a big incident. Apparently, Paul Tierney's getting a lot of criticism from it. Listen, I've walked into my door. I thought I'd jump on the stream and see what's been going on with everybody. But actually, I'm going to watch Match Today and actually see what the hell this is all about because apparently they're not giving the ball back to Forest or when they should have. Let's just have it right. If Nottingham Forest are going to start wasting time, then they're going to be added more time on. And if Liverpool have scored within that time, I really don't see what the issue is, people. I have to be real with you. A lot of people are going to start crying and getting very bitter about the way Liverpool have won football matches. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm worried if that's the way you've got to win a football match. But at the same time, Liverpool have scored within the right realms of the game. So I can't sit there. Listen, if Liverpool would have scored a lucky goal, would have hit 4,000 people before it went in, or if people actually have an understanding of Liverpool shithousing a win in a way that was just they got battered the whole game, I might actually look at it and say, do you know what? Fair play. Like, I can see why people are annoyed. The reason people are annoyed is because Liverpool won when no one thought they were going to. That's why people are annoyed. Let's just have it right. I expected Liverpool to win this game. Liverpool won this game. That's the way I see it. So that's where I'm at, looking at the game as a result. Not looking at any minute of the game, not looking at who had the possession, not looking at who was the better team. I'll see all that later on Match of the Day. I didn't watch any live football today for the first time in a while, to be fair. So let me know in the chat, man, what your thoughts were. I need your help on this. Was it a fair result for Liverpool? Should they have got a point out of it, Forest? Were Nottingham Forest hard done by? AFC Max, big up yourself, bro. Hope you're well, man. Been a long time. Says the Forest player had a heel injury, Dan, and they didn't give the ball back. I believe that is why people were getting frustrated by it, particularly Nottingham Forest fans as well, because of course they've got a right to be frustrated if that's the case. I know a lot of Liverpool fans will say that it doesn't matter. The game doesn't end until the whistle blows, and you play to the whistle, and I totally agree with that as well. But also, I can understand if that is the case, as Max is saying, that Nottingham Forest fans are a little bit hard done by in terms of Paul Tierney today, who, by the way, is a shocking referee. I've always thought it was. So there we go, man. Revan Knight says, unfortunately, with the injuries we have done, the games we should win are a little harder. Yeah, 100%. I don't know what your bench was today. I saw Darwin Nunez come on and score, though. I thought he was injured. So that's one back for you. But I know you've got problems, I think, with Jota. Allison, Trent, but I think Salah and some of the others are starting to get back soon. So Liverpool might not be out of the without these players for a long time, like they always say. Listen, this always happens. Oh, Liverpool got so and so out for 4 months, and then 2 weeks later they're on the bench. It's like, where does this happen, man? So yeah, I don't think Liverpool have got this depleted side like everyone's talking about and everyone was getting excited about. I think they've proven a week later that magically all these players have come back. So yeah, let's not feel sorry for Liverpool too much. When I look at the bench and they've got Endo on it and Soberslay on it and like Salah's close to return and they've got Nunez coming on and scoring, and they're trying to say they win with kids. It's like they've won with kids in the Carabao Cup, but if they've got them players coming back, then they ain't gonna have a problem in the next few weeks, are they? Let's be real. So yeah, man, Liverpool won the game. I expected them to. I just didn't think it would end like that, man. Bloody Liverpool is what I've called this because it's frustrating. Because obviously we're looking at that game as a gooner in a title race, thinking, "God, I didn't expect this." Go on, then, Forest. You know, and to be fair to Forest, they're absolutely desperate for anything. They're desperate for a point. They're looking around them at the moment with Everton losing, with Luton losing again, with teams that they're going to be fighting relegation with, not picking up points, thinking, go on then, take something from Liverpool. I dare you. No, they couldn't do it. And apparently, should have just cleared the ball anyway, from what people have told me. What were they doing? Trying to muck around with it in the 99th minute. Just get the thing out, man. Crazy. So hopefully they learn from that as a Forest fan or player. You're going to be frustrated, of course. But Liverpool, the sign of champions. I don't actually agree with that, if I'm honest with you. I don't think it is a sign of champions when you win games like that because Arsenal won them games 3-4 times, maybe 5 times last year, and they weren't champions. What it did was it made it look very unsustainable. And if you win games like that, they ain't convincing to win a title. So that's where I'll be looking. Liverpool can still win this title, 100%. I think all three of them can. But if I look at it and I look at how Liverpool were today, maybe they were battered them and missed loads of chances. But I wouldn't be looking at that performance thinking that's why we're winning the league. Look how good we are. Like that's where we got to be looking at. And I think with Man City at the moment coming back into the mix, unfortunately, with KDB and Haaland absolutely smashing it. And I mean smashing it. And I expect them to do the same to Man United tomorrow. That is obviously not a good sign. But Arsenal just do their job, man. Arsenal just do their job. Like it's just for me, nothing changes. We had to beat Sheffield United Monday. We still have to. It's like nothing has changed basically. So that's the way I see it. Revenant says it's a sign of champion, Dan. It doesn't mean you'll win it just for a sign. Just a sign for a reason. Yeah, do you know what? You're right. Actually, that's a good way of looking at it. It's a sign of champions, but you've got to actually go and do it. Is basically what I was saying. So yeah, fair play to you, my bro. It wasn't the only game today. It was the only game that I think people would look at and go, "Oh, really? Like, wow, devastating for Forest. Very, very fortunate for Liverpool. They get the win. They move on. Everybody else moves." The other team to laugh at and look at today and just shake your head is Chelsea. Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. I've tried to explain to people that I don't rate this side. I've tried to explain to people that I don't rate this manager. I don't think it is one or the other now. I think it's both. I don't think the team are good enough. I don't think the manager's good enough. I don't think the football club is run well enough. And I think if I was to use a case study on how not to run a football club, it would be Chelsea Football Club in this season. It is an embarrassment now. I'm not actually sitting there laughing no more. It's actually quite embarrassing. Like, long may it continue, and I'm here for it, right? But I'm not going to sit there and start bantering Chelsea anymore. They're just poor. They're of no significance to me whatsoever. Chelsea Football Club want to put themselves in the same bracket of Arsenal Football Club at being bigger than us because of their European heritage. Go talk about the history of the club if you want, but look at you right now and tell me that you're happy. It is an embarrassment. I don't think if they change Pochettino, there's much of an improvement. They might get European football, but this is Chelsea. Chelsea standards are on the absolute floor and in the gutter. The fan base, some of them, are still sticking up for this. It's not Mudrik's fault. It's nothing to do with Nkunku. It's nothing to do with Nicholas Jackson. It's nothing to do with Raheem Sterling. It's nothing to do with XYZ of players. It's all to do with that man. Sack Poch and we'll be fine. Champions League, here we come. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. That side is bad. It's stinky. It's awful. I don't care who you put in charge of it. That team is no better than top 6 at a push, in my opinion. And that's pushing for it with all the teams you've got at the moment. Because I look at that squad, I look at that team, and it ain't that great. I don't look at it and go, "Cool, I tell you what, I'm taking 8 or 9 of them players. I'm taking 2 or 3." Real talk. And we ain't in an amazing position where it's like no one's getting into this Arsenal squad. You might struggle to put some of them in the first 11 because when everyone's fit, Arsenal have got a very good first 11, right? But I look at it and I think Chelsea are actually embarrassing. Like, real talk, they've gone to Brentford today, right? A team that cannot win, a team that's struggling to score, they're conceding goals. And wow, apparently could have been 4-5-2 today from Chelsea. But it wasn't, though, was it? It wasn't again. Could have won the Carabao Cup, but you didn't know, did you? We should have taken the game to Leeds and battered them, but you didn't know, did you? Every single time I watch Chelsea, there's always a but. But you're just crap. That's the way it is. That is the way it is. Their side, their squad is not better than Man City's. It's not competing with Arsenal's. It's not competing with Liverpool's. It's not competing with Aston Villa's. It's not competing with Tottenham's. That's 5 clubs, yeah, already. Newcastle, you could throw in there when they've got their players fit. It ain't competing with them, in my opinion, or it's similar in some certain aspects to it. I don't look at this Chelsea side and go, wow, I mean, serious underachieving here. They should be fourth, third, fifth. No, like, let's be real. They're a few points off of the top 7, which is where they should be. They're a poor outfit, mate. Poor outfit. And yet again, they proved it. And then we've got Chelsea fans that accept it, and we've got Chelsea fans that have got the right ump. Chelsea fans I respect, like Goonie, who comes out and just says it how it is. This is a disgrace. Our fan base should not stand for it. This ownership is a disgrace. The players ain't good enough. The board are a disgrace. And the manager is shocking. Refreshing to hear. Refreshing to hear. Johnny Minerals, another one, says it how it is. I had Matisse on yesterday, said it how it is, admitted that he got things wrong. Some of them are just so clinging on to the fact that, nah, but this is Chelsea. This is Chelsea. It ain't going to be like this. Please, please, people, just, it's got to be the manager. It can't be anything else. It's got to be Poch. Nah, man. A lot of it is a shambles. And I hope it stays. I'm here for it, man. Long may it continue. Those fans have been the cockiest for the last 2 decades. So it's nice to see, man. It's nice to see. They've been humbled, finally. Right? So that's Chelsea. That's Liverpool. Other results today. Let's talk about Spurs, shall we? I was so confident that Tottenham were going to win today that when they went 1-0 down, I stuck a tenner on them to win. Only a tenner. Hey, I don't mind losing a tenner. Either way, Tottenham lose and it's funny, or Tottenham win and I win money. And I won money. I just thought they would do it. I thought the easiest way to pee Tottenham off at home, as we've seen this season, is to score first. They somehow, under Range at home, managed to group together, regroup, and turn the deficit around. And we've seen it a few times. We saw it at Brighton in the last minute. We saw it at Sheffield United in the last minute. We've seen it what game was it? What game was it? There's another one that's gone to me. But of course, Crystal Palace is now the other game. Liverpool. Liverpool. Of course, where they shithoused the win. Last minute goals galore. And you know what? If you're a season ticket holder at Spurs, you've probably seen some crackers in the last minute this season. Certainly don't want to be leaving to go and get the train 10 minutes before the game ends, that's for sure. Tottenham aren't going to go away in terms of top 4. They're not in a title race, in my opinion. I think they're too far away. Unless Liverpool, City and Arsenal will drop 3-4 games and Tottenham win all them 3-4 games. I just don't see them getting in a title race. But let's be real talk here. They're probably, along with Wolves, the surprise package of the season for me, because I felt like they would have struggled without the likes of Harry Kane and with a new manager coming in and getting some players out. But their recruitment has been good. Big up to Ange Postecoglou. I don't really know how he won the London Award, but fair play to him. Even he was a bit bizarre by it. But I must say that they have impressed me. And I thought they were going to win today. And they did. So they're going for Champions League, man. They're going for Champions League. It's going to be them and Aston Villa, which is the next team I want to move on to. Aston Villa, I thought, were brilliant in the first half today against Luton. And this guy, Ollie Watkins, is actually deserving a mention now. There's been consistency within his performances now. I'm going to bring up his stats in the last few years, and I want you to tell me, people in the chat, as an Arsenal fan, or if you don't support Arsenal, what are your thoughts about this guy? Because for me, these stats are looking very, very good now. Very good. Like I get very happy when I see stats like this. The goals he's scoring are pretty impressive. Now, if we look right the way back to 2017, Ollie Watkins scored 10 goals in his 45 appearances for Brentford. He's a young kid, he's coming through. Then he followed that up the next season with another 10 goals, so he hit double figures. In those seasons, he got 4 and 6 assists. So 10 and 4, 10 and 6. Pretty good. Not like nothing to write home about in the Championship, but you'd look at it and go, do you know what? Fair play. Then his move before he went to Aston Villa at Brentford was a season where they went to the playoffs and everyone was talking about Ben Rama, Watkins, and De Silva, I think it was. He got 26 goals and 3 assists in that season. Then he moved to Aston Villa and in his first season got 14 goals, second season 11 goals, third season 15 goals, and this season 16 goals. So we're talking about a guy that's one off Haaland now, I think he is, in the Premier League. Now, I understand Haaland's been out for a while, right? Ollie Watkins, man. Ollie Watkins. Like, I'm not saying he's going to take Arsenal to the next level. Don't get me wrong. I don't actually look at him and think, wow, like that's just what Arsenal have been lacking all this time. But at 28 years old, he's going to be the same age as Ivan Toney. Who would you rather have? Ivan Toney or Ollie Watkins? Like, if you're an Arsenal fan or a football fan and you're looking for a striker, maybe Spurs are looking for a striker, Chelsea looking for a striker, Man United, who are you going for? Are you going for Ivan Toney or Ollie Watkins? Because if the stats don't lie, Ollie Watkins has absolutely smashed it out of the park every season, whether it be at Brentford or Villa. He has been phenomenally consistent. So fair play to him, man. I still think there's a little bit less to his game in parts than Toney, in terms of Toney being a little bit more of an all-round centre forward. But if you look at the stats and look at the goals, Ollie Watkins is right up there, man. And outside of the top 6, I said Isak was the best. I'd stand by that. He just needs to stay fit because I think it will be scary. Well, he doesn't need to stay fit for everyone else's sake, but for Newcastle, he does. But I'm looking at it, Watkins, man. And a lot of people are now saying, why is no one talking about him? Why is it Toney? Because Watkins, I mean, maybe he's settled at Villa and doesn't want to move, but big Arsenal fan. Toney wants to come Arsenal. They've made like noises and murmurs about that for a while. Who would you prefer, man? Let me know in the chat. A lot of people are saying that Toney, work rate, both overrated. Some people are saying assists is key. Some people are saying don't want Watkins at Arsenal. Don't want either two. Guy Caress is being Victor Guy Caress is being tipped as somebody that we should be looking at. So yeah, man, we have to look at it and say that he's definitely somebody that will be on the cards in this summer. I don't see teams not looking at Ollie Watkins, man. I've been very, very impressed with what I've seen. So big up to him, man. But Luton, yet again, you are so good to watch. I love watching them, man. I never know what I'm going to get, but all I do know, I don't know what I'm going to get results-wise, but what I do know is I'm going to get fight from them. And when they went 2-0 down, everybody thought, this will be about 3 or 4 now. But nah, Luton and Rob Edwards, man, they have other ideas and they go for it and they actually make it exciting and they show and never say die. The resilience of that team this season, they've had so many games at that home stadium at Kenilworth Road, which they've lost it in the last minute. And people will go, that just shows they're not quite ready. Do you know what it does show? It shows that they literally will go all out. And they've been unlucky. They've been unlucky in certain games. That could have been 3-2. If Carlton Morris puts that in, that could have been 3-2. And they had a couple other chances as well, because that one I think might have been offside. A chance that he had. There were some others, man, that were really, really close for Luton to look at. So I really want them to stay up. I really don't want to sit here and start slating teams about I want to see them go down or them go down. I don't really care who goes down because I'm an Arsenal fan, right? So it doesn't bother me or affect me with any of them clubs down there. But if I could pick one to save, it would be Luton because the story would be amazing. I don't think the story's been spoken about enough, by the way, to where they've come from to where they are now. And also, I just think that what Rob Edwards and that fan base have done and the way that that stadium have made himself horrible and hostile, the way that the fan base have got behind the players, what's happened with Tom Lockyer, what's happened with the kind of re-emergence of Ross Barkley. I think it's just a nice story, man. It really is. So Aston Villa, fair play. They got across the line. Unai Emery, big up to him as well because he chucked on 4 subs. And to be fair, that is essentially what changed the game for them. Diaby's cross and then obviously Luka Dean's header. So 2 of those players that came on, won them the game. But I'm a big fan of what Unai Emery's done at Aston Villa. But I'm also a big fan of what Rob Edwards is doing at Luton. So fair play, man, because that was a good evening game. I enjoyed that one, I must say. Um, the other surprise package this season for me so far has been Wolves, but today they just got battered, man. And Newcastle turned up. And do you know what? About time. Newcastle needed to turn up. Newcastle were in a situation where Eddie Howe's under pressure. They scraped over the line on penalties against Blackburn in the cup. They got dumped out of the other Carabao Cup. So now they're in a fight because Champions League's no more. Europa League was no more because they finished at the bottom of their group. So Newcastle, a team that I respect, a team I like a lot from, definitely Eddie Howe should have been under pressure, man. If they're this big club now, then of course, when you're going into the Champions League and it's your first year back to see how you get on, you don't want to be going absolutely out of everything and your season's now done. It's now over. So I think they needed a bounce back and a proper performance. And from what I hear, they got it. Alexander Isak, just love him, man. Like, honestly, if he stays fit, Newcastle are fine. He'll score goals. Him and Bruno Guimaraes, I take them both for Arsenal tomorrow. And I tell you what, they both walk into the side as well. Because Bruno Guimaraes would play with Rice and Isak would play up top ahead of Jesus. Like, real talk, they would. The problem with Isak is he's just not fit enough. And he's not proven at Newcastle that he's fit enough. But I'm a huge fan of what I've seen from him. And I think if they can keep their players fit, Newcastle, they could have a late surge just to be fine for Europe. And you know what? Who knows? They might be able to surprise in the FA Cup, albeit they are going to the Etihad. So they're favourites to get knocked out of that game. But Wolves, a bad day at the office. But let's be real. They're due one, man, because they've been very impressive for me in the last few. A team that haven't impressed me this season, I'm sorry to say, and a manager that I think is particularly overrated. Don't shoot me. Unpopular opinion, what I'm about to say. Brighton and De Zerbi. I don't get the hype with De Zerbi. He plays out from the back the best in the league. Okay, does that win you a trophy? Because I don't know that this guy's guaranteed to go to Man United and do a great job. Or Chelsea. Or Liverpool, like people are talking about. Like, if Newcastle were to sack Eddie Howe and get De Zerbi, would you then see Newcastle going and winning things with De Zerbi? I don't really know. I think he's particularly overrated. I think he's done well, but I think we're looking at maybe a scenario here where we're overhyping managers again. Tottenham did it with Poch. Look at what's happened to him. I think Graham Potter was a good manager, but I don't think he was ever the elite bracket. And I think De Zerbi's that. I think he's a good manager, and the best thing he can do, stay at Brighton. Do not go to one of those toxic clubs. Not right now. Wait until Manchester United or Chelsea in a few years might look a bit more settled and then take the plunge. But for me, right now, he needs to stay where he is. Brighton have really surprised me this season, good and bad. They've surprised me in certain games where I think, wow, they're looking good. Next minute, they're holding 6 against Villa. Today, they hold 3 against Fulham. They held 4 against Luton. What is it with this side? Like, they're either getting battered or they're scraping for home wins. So, yeah, I mean, I spoke to Maz yesterday and, he's a little bit like that. We're just inconsistent, Dan. Yeah, like, real talk. It is. Oh, excuse me. So there is a hell of a lot of people that rate De Zerbi. I'm just not so sure that I do. And that's not me saying that he's a bad manager. That's me saying that I'm not so sure that he can go and manage at the elite level. That's all I'm saying. Fulham, big up to Fulham. A team that have really gone about their business this season so far and haven't really kind of got enough credit, in my opinion. A team that don't really have a centre forward until now, by the way, and Muniz, who looks pretty decent. Do all right in front of goal, Fulham. They do. Yeah, I don't ever look at Fulham and think, can't see him scoring. Whether it's Willian, whether it's Wilson, whether it is Raul Jimenez, whether it's Adama Traore now, whether it's Alex Iwobi now. They're scoring goals, man. So big up to Fulham. Got some great players as well. Big fan of Paulinho. Big fan of Paulinho. I think he's an outstanding talent in midfield. Oh, big up to Lee Gunner, man. I guess Lee Gunner's, Lee Raided. Legend, man. Thank you so much for that, bro, for sending people over here and redirecting. You're a legend, man. Thank you so much, bro. Lee Raid. How was the football? How was La Liga? I didn't even see. I know, was it Real Madrid? I don't even know what happened to Real Madrid, man. Someone tell me in the chat what happened with Real Madrid and if it was a good game. Because literally, as I say, I've been all over the place today with the other results. Oh, it was 2-2. Who got sent off? Jude Bellingham. What? Jude Bellingham got sent off. Wow, and it was 2-2. Um, wow, what happened there? Someone let me know. Someone let me know. This is terrible, isn't it? I'm coming on here to talk and to analyze games, and I haven't even watched the Real Madrid game. So let me know what happened in that game. Obviously, Jude Bellingham got a bad red card. Someone broke his leg in the game. Someone broke his leg in the game. Who broke it? Who's broke his leg? Horrible injury. Someone broke their leg. Oh dear, that sounds nasty, man. That sounds horrendous. Anyway, big up to all of you for coming over from Lee Gunner stream, man, and big up to Lee Gunner as well. I will drop him a line in a minute. So make sure that you you do me a favor and get over to Lee's content, man. So Fulham deserve their credit, deserve their flowers. The other fixture and the last fixture to talk about today is Everton West Ham. I had a mare today. I thought Nottingham Forest would score today against Liverpool, right? I thought Liverpool would win, but my prediction was 2-1 or 3-1. So I left Van Dijk and Konaté on my bench in FPL. Stupid thing to do. They both got clean sheets. Do you know who else was on my bench as a goalkeeper? Areola. I stuck Emi Martinez in my goal today. I had a mare. I don't really know what I was thinking. Maybe I was just a little, because I've been too well. Maybe I weren't really thinking. But wow, I'm sat there thinking, I've got Van Dijk, Konaté, and Areola with a penalty save, and they're all on my bench. It's mad. Anyway, for those FPL fans, don't listen to me because I'm hopeless at that. As it goes, I was a little bit frustrated because West Ham winning just allows Lawless to be very, very happy on this channel. Not that I actually care for West Ham as much as he seems to care for Arsenal, but it's just funny. But what I will say is Deji is totally in the mud. Because for those of you that don't watch This Is London show on every Wednesday at 7 p.m, as a little plug for you, Deji, myself, Don, Lawless, and D on This Is London. And what happens? Deji says, West Ham aren't going to win in the next 6 games. What did West Ham do? They went and beat Brentford. So he says 50 quid, West Ham won't win in the next 6 games. When they beat Brentford, Lawless is like, where's my 50 quid? He's like, double or quits. The next 4 games, you won't win a game. They go and beat Everton. So now he owes him money. Deji needs to stop betting. And Lawless needs to stop betting with Spurs fans because he's beating them all. Like, if you're a Spurs fan, don't go near Lawless and make a bet because he'll just have the money off you. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So West Ham have got a good win. And to be fair to them, they did nick it right at the end, I believe. I believe it was Souček in the 91st minute. And then I think it was Alvarez in like the 95th or something mad like that to beat Everton 3-1. And of course, Beto missed a penalty. He did score in the end, but he missed a penalty. Raiola saved it, should I say. So Everton in trouble again, man. And with this points deduction, I just don't know what to do with this. And this is why it's so hard for me to call relegation out. I know Burnley and Sheffield United are pretty much down, but I really don't know what else to call. I have called Luton. I don't want to. I want to see him stay up. But personally, if Everton or Forest get points deducted again, I think it could be enough to send whoever it is down. I really do. If one of those gets points deducted, I don't see how they come back from that. Like, I really don't. It could change things massively. And if it is both of them, I feel sorry for Forest out of the 2 because Everton have got Dyche, and you know that without those points deducted, they'd actually be in 12th, I think it is now, or 11th place in the league. So Everton, when you look at their league position, you think, God, they're having a shocker of a season. But actually, when you realise they had 10 points deducted, you add that back on. All of a sudden, yeah, do you know what? Everton could be pretty safe already if it weren't for those. So that's where I'm at, man. It's going to be very difficult for me to see where it's at there. Let's take a couple of questions that I started, a couple of comments. One of them was a super chat, so I'm going to read that one out first. Excuse me. Morton Pedersen. Do you know what? If you're the real Morton Gamps Pedersen, you was a hell of a baller. But big up to you, Morton. The same drop happened earlier in the match, but then against Liverpool. Is it a rule when a head injury occurs within 16 minutes? Listen, this head injury thing is actually a mad thing. If that has happened, then I'll watch this on Match of the Day because it's on literally now or in a minute. If that has happened, then fair play. I can understand why Forest are frustrated by it. If there's a head injury and the referee is not stuck to the law, like he would in any other game, and that has then led potentially to Liverpool winning, then I can see why Forest are feeling hard done by, man. But I will bring it up again. Play to the whistle, man. Play to the whistle. But big up to Morton. This comes in from Jake. Says, do you think we could afford to drop points against City if they draw with Liverpool next weekend? I just know that this is a fact. Arsenal beat Sheffield United and Brentford, and we can sit and enjoy this game. Arsenal slip up in either of those two, it won't matter. We'll sit there and we won't care because we will be so frustrated that we haven't been able to take 6 points off of two teams that are struggling down the bottom of the table while we're fighting at the top. That's what I care about. Now, Jake, I want to sit there and I want to enjoy that game. I still don't know what I want. I do want a draw, I think. But if I had to pick a team to win, I would still go Liverpool because I feel like they could actually drop more points at Man City now that they've got their players back in Rodri, KDB, and Haaland. If Man City keep those three fit, I think they'll win the league. I really do. Because we've seen what happens when Man City don't have Rodri, right? They don't win a game. They didn't win a game without him out. That's mad. He was out against us. We beat them. So he has to stay fit for Manchester City. And I think with KDB and Haaland, they don't have to stay fit. But if they do, that for me just means they are going to win the league. And I hate to say it, but they're going to go on this mad run. Big up, Matt, big West Ham fan, says Liverpool just got the win today. Do you think they'll bottle the title? Maybe Arsenal or City will win the league. In your opinion, who do you think is going to slip up in the title race? I've said it and I've said it many times. Manchester City will win this league. I'd love to say Arsenal will. I'd love to say Liverpool will if Arsenal don't, because I'd rather see Liverpool win it than Man City. I don't want Man City to win the league again. It's just getting boring, if I'm honest. And it's nice to see something different. I think it would be nice for Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool fan base to say, do you know what, here we go. Last time we won it, it was with an asterisk, and it was in a COVID year. We couldn't celebrate and couldn't do a title parade, blah, blah, blah. Open top bus parade, sorry. So, yeah, fair play. I wouldn't care, really, particularly, but if I had to pick one. But I do think it'll be Man City, man. And I'm not so sure it'll be Arsenal and Liverpool bottling stuff or throwing stuff away because I don't think Liverpool are in a position to bottle the title. I don't think Arsenal have ever been in the position this season of bottling the title. I just think Man City will get across the line because they've provided no evidence that they're not going to do it. Every year they just get across the line, man. Whether they get rid of Sterling, Zinchenko and Jesus and replace them, whether they get rid of Mahrez and Gundogan and replace them, whether they get rid of Vincent Kompany, David Silva and Yaya Toure and replace them, they've done it. Man City have done this under Pep for the best part of 7 years now. And I just don't see that it's going to be any different. I do need you to do me a favor, though, people. There's almost 400 people in here, and we are only at 107 likes. I just need you to select the like button. I would love you to do that. If you're in the chat, all you got to do is hit the cross, press the thumbs up, and hit the live chat. It comes back up. Hit subscribe. 2 buttons. If you want to do me a favor and join as a member, please do, but don't feel the pressure. But I do definitely want you to hit 2 buttons for me. And that is literally a like button, a subscribe button, and then you can come back and join in on the fun. So please make sure that you do that, people, because that would be amazing. Let's talk quickly before we close about the Sheffield United and Arsenal game. A lot of people have asked me this question: what is my team going to be? And I'll tell you what my team's going to be. I don't think this is the best team available, but it's working away from home, so it would be foolish to disrupt it. I wouldn't play Jorginho and Havertz in the 9 like we've done at the Emirates against Liverpool and Newcastle. I would play Trossard and Havertz into linking like we've done against West Ham and Burnley, because I think it will be similar to those games as opposed to Sheffield United away being similar to Liverpool and Newcastle at home. I don't think we need to be playing Jorginho in a double pivot against Sheffield United. That's just not something I think we need to be doing. So Declan Rice goes in the 6, Havertz and Trossard, and then you've got Saka and Martinelli either side of that with Odegaard, and then a back 5, I would keep the same. Players are back, but I would keep Kivior there. I would keep Ben White at right back, inverting. I would keep Gabriel Saliba and Rare in goal. And then the players that come back are just a bonus. If Jesus gets some minutes, brilliant. Manage him closely and carefully. Thomas Partey's back on that bench, brilliant. But use him wisely. If Vieira's there, if Smith Rowe's there, if we're starting to use players now that potentially are coming back into the mix, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Timber, when they do come back, don't throw them in the deep end. Manage it sensibly, because we've got an unbelievable opportunity of being in 2 of the biggest competitions around in world football, Premier League trophy, Champions League trophy, and we need the squad to be as strong as possible and as fit as possible if it gets to the stage of us having any chance of winning either of those. So that's why I want to be doing it sensibly, man. Like, I really do. So that's my team. I think we can win 3-0. A lot of people are saying crazy stuff. I saw Roms's predictions the other day, 7-0 Arsenal. I've seen 6-0 again. I've seen 5-0, 4-0s, 4-1s, 5-1s, 6-1s. I'm going 3-0 because I think when the people expect a battering, it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen. So that's where I'm at. As for the Manchester derby, people are asking me that. I personally feel like this could be a battering. But again, I've gone 3-0 Man City. And everyone's saying it could be fours, it could be fives, it could be sixes. Yeah, it could be. I saw what they did to Luton the other night. I saw what KDB and Haaland did. They would love nothing more than to do that. This Man United side has horrible, horrible ways of surprising people. Now, I'm not going to suggest and be naive enough to suggest they're going to be able to beat Man City or even take a draw. But I saw what they did when they played Liverpool and I was shocked. We were flying last season, won 5 in a row, battered and demolished the teams. Got to game 6, we went to Old Trafford, were the better side, scored a goal. It got told it was offside when VAR then come back about 6 months later and said, oh, sorry, that should have counted. And we lost the game 3-1 because of a counter-attack. Now, that's all Man United have got tomorrow. That's literally all they've got. They're going to be smashing it up to Rashford and looking for Bruno to make some form of creativity. They ain't got nothing else. They literally have got nothing else. They've got a goalkeeper no one trusts in. They've got Varane, who's unbelievable defender, but doesn't look like one in a Man United shirt. Casemiro, unbelievable CDM, hasn't looked like one this season in a Man United shirt. Dalot, a fullback, I actually do rate. Other than that, they're struggling. Amrabat might have to go at left back. Lindelof might have to go at centre back, or will have to go at centre back. It's the only one they've got. McTominay will probably have to come back into the midfield with Kobe Manu and Casemiro. Bruno might have to go on one of the wings because they're struggling for anybody unless they play Anthony there. And then Garnacho and Rashford up top. It's going to be a poor, poor, poor Manchester United side against one of the best in Man City at the Etihad. This could be a demolition derby, mate. This could be 6 or 7s again. Imagine if Man United holds 7. Imagine they go to Anfield and lose 7 and then go to the Etihad the season after and hold 7. Can you imagine that? Like, honestly, it's crazy. Like, it's mad. It is absolutely mad. Lil Tim's has asked a decent question. What's he said here? Says, Dan, why do you always agree with everything that's good about Man City? Just asking. Everyone needs to be criticised when they drop points. I show some hatred towards them. You show affection. Big up. I don't show affection. I show realistic or try and share realistic opinions about how good I think Man City are. The treble winners, for goodness sake. They've won 3 in a row, potentially 4 Premier Leagues in a row if they win this year. I can't criticise that much, mate. I can't. Drop points, fair play. But I've seen them drop points and win titles before. I haven't seen Arsenal do that. That's where I'm at, bro. That's where I'm at. So that's the way I see it. I honestly believe that it will be Man City, but we go every game that we can, man. I'm not going to sit here now and say that Arsenal are going to win this league. Everyone needs to just calm down and trust me and believe me when I don't really feel that. I've got to be able to give my true opinions, right? I've got to be able to say to people, do you know what? I 100% believe in what Arsenal are doing, but I still don't think that it's going to be enough. I can say that if you want. Do I believe in everything that Arsenal's doing? I believe in quite a lot of what they're doing, but I'm still not convinced yet until they get us over the line that the plan will be executed to win us a title. And that's that. Has Arteta and Edu and the Cronkies and this regime got us back fighting and challenging? Yes, 100%. Can't deny that. And a lot of people were put in the mud last season, including myself. I never saw us going for a title. Not that season anyway. I expected to this season, but the only reason I expected to was because of Mikel Arteta last season. And that's why I give him praise for that. The only reason that I believe this regime that's had a few years now to get its deadwood together, spend money on it and put it up with Man City, the only reason I believe it's done that is because of what Mikel Arteta has done. He deserves a hell of a lot of credit for allowing Arsenal to challenge again. Of course he does. But it's okay to be able to question him and say, do you know what? I'm not sure this guy's going to get us across the line. I don't think that's horrendously bad. I don't think that's negative. Get out of the club. You're not a real fan. All this rubbish. Sometimes people can do that, I know people that love him. I know people that talk to people that don't like him and say, "Oh, fair play to you. I hear your opinions, but I really like what he's doing." And I hear the opposite. "Oh, do you know what? Fair play to you. I had admiration for you to being positive, but I'm still not sure this guy can get us across the line." And until he does that, nobody can say, "Why do you think that?" The reason they think that is because he hasn't done it yet. So if he gets us across the line, wins us that Champions League, wins us that Premier League, how can anyone then question whether he can get us over the line? He just bloody has. So that's what he has to do for me now. Like, he has to do that. So that's where I'm at personally. And I feel there's a lot of people out there that are believing in Arsenal this season. And I think they believe that there's something a little bit different about this side. There's something a little bit different about the way we've gone about it. There's something a little bit different about the way that we are playing, in terms of we've changed our style again now to be a little bit more attack minded, to be in a situation where we were, let's be real, controlled and possession based football. I think a lot of people were a little bit question marks over that. Why are we doing that? Why didn't we come out the blocks fast? Why did we get to a stage where we've had to change the style? Why did we do that? I think there's a lot of people that don't understand why. Um, so I believe there's definitely some questions to answer that, and I think we'll be able to do that at the end of the stream. End of the stream. This is a stream. End of the season. Um, so for me, there's definitely some question marks for sure. But what I will say is that Arsenal have got an unbelievable opportunity. Arsenal have got all their players coming back. Arsenal are in the Champions League still, and I believe we will get the deficit over of Porto and beat them. And I do believe that we're going to win our games up until the Etihad. So let's enjoy this month. Let's enjoy the ride. Let's not worry about the fact we've got a few days off in March and we might go back to Dubai, all that rubbish. Let's just beat Sheffield United and Brentford first. Let's make sure we go and beat Porto after that. And then let's make sure we go and enjoy what will be a nice break to hike and psych ourselves up for the Etihad, man. And then we go for it. That's where I'm at. Listen, make sure you're staying tuned, people, because you're going to be heading over to Judge Mo, and then you're going to be heading over to Hassam. There's loads of football content, great content creators out there at the moment. So make sure that you do that, please, people. I'm out of here. Make sure you hit a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time. Take it easy, people.